Over the decades, I've played so many different styles of video game. Platform, racing, RPG, first-person shooters, sandbox, sports, puzzle, action-adventure, amongst others. But do you know which genre I've never really tried? Farming sims. I know they're popular, people love them, there are loads of them about. But I just don't play them. I think the closest I've ever gotten to a farming sim is perhaps Animal Crossing, where you plant the flowers and the pumpkins and stuff. I do have Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life on GameCube. I've only used it for half an hour to record game footage. I've never actually sat down and played it. So basically you can gather that I'm not really all that experienced with farming games. But how about a farming game entirely in virtual reality? I'm clearly jumping in the deep end here. Or am I? I've been trying out Across the Valley on PSVR 2, and I'm here to tell you what I thought of it. Hello fellow gamers, and this is nothing like Clarkson's Farm. Thankfully. So allow me, a complete noob to farming sims, give you my thoughts on Across the Valley. As you might expect, the entire concept of the game is you're the owner of a small farm and you need to work hard in order to make it prosper. You only start off with a single plot for crops and a couple of barns for livestock, which are initially empty, but as you go along, your farm grows with more plots, more crops, more animals, and so on. So I guess this is like many other farming sims then, except this one's entirely in virtual reality. As you'll have noticed right away, the developers decided to go for a cel-shaded approach with the graphics, rather than anything realistic. I won't lie, the aesthetics are quite nice, and the baby animals are just utterly adorable. But it's clear from the graphics alone that this is meant to be a casual sim, rather than anything, too involved. There are a handful of different areas you can explore, and you can move from area to area with a simple point and click of a trigger. Within those areas you can then teleport from point to point. There's no free roaming in this game, it's all teleporting. But I guess that puts you in the right position in order to deal with whatever it is you need to do. The game works on a daily cycle. You carry out the tasks that are demanding your attention on that particular day. With your crops, that can include preparing them, sowing seeds, watering them, getting rid of weeds with your hoe, and harvesting your crops once they're done. Wash, rinse, repeat. You have a similarly limited number of tasks to do in the chicken coop and the barn, where you need to make sure the animals are fed and watered, give them a little platonic love, and carry out specific tasks for them, such as gathering eggs, shearing the sheep, milking the cows, and yes, on occasion, cleaning up shit. These tasks will put to use many of the VR features of the PSVR 2. Whenever you need to use tools like a shovel or hoe, you actually pick them up and interact with your crops with them. The hoe did take a little getting used to, but I got there in the end. And when you're sowing seeds, you're actually picking them out of the basket and scattering them to wherever you want on the plot. You'll get a score depending on how well you've scattered them, with a higher score meaning you'll yield more crops. With the animals, you're given mini-games in order to carry out your regular tasks with them. For example, shearing a sheep is a race against the clock to get as much wool sheared off as possible. And milking the cow becomes a very unusual rhythm game as you pull on the teats in time to the music. Mastering both will take a few attempts, but getting better at these will result in more wool and milk from each round. But at the beginning you start off with very little. You only have a single plot for crops and that's it. You need to work your way up to unlock the rest. In your home there are, essentially post-it notes stuck onto the wall telling you what you need to do in order to progress. It's the story basically. As you carry out the tasks, you unlock more features, and as you're earning more money, you can buy more plots for crops, buy more livestock, or even be a little vain and upgrade your own home. You can earn money by selling your wares at the cart, but you'll earn a lot more by completing orders. These will eventually appear next to your story tasks in your home on another set of post-it notes. Fulfilling orders will let you earn enough to get more plots, more animals, upgrade your house and whatnot, allowing you to progress further into the game. And as you get more plots and animals, you obtain more wares as you go along, like crops and eggs and wool and milk and so on, in order to fulfill more orders so you can upgrade your farm in order to gain more wares, which you can then sell and spend the money on upgrading your farm. You can see where this is going. As you can imagine, this game will get repetitive. I mean, at the beginning, it handholds you a little, and honestly, I think it does a good job with that. And I can say that as a complete noob to farming sims. But as you progress, you will eventually wind up in an infinite loop of tending to your farm, selling stuff off, upgrading your farm, and then you're back to the start of the loop again. Eventually, you won't be able to upgrade your farm any further, so all you'll be doing is just tending to your daily tasks and selling stuff off. But I suppose this can happen in a lot of open-ended games, can't it? If the game never ends, you'll eventually wind up just doing the same stuff over and over. Now, I'm not sure if the developers intend on adding more content to this, but this would be a great point to perhaps allow you to expand into larger fields, introduce machinery or helping hands, or more different types of livestock, maybe even setting up your own little shop to sell your produce directly. But at this point, you're rather limited. Now, that's not to say I haven't been enjoying it though. I've progressed far enough that I can already see its repetitive nature starting to seep through, but I haven't gotten sick of it yet. Now, I don't think it would be suitable for anyone already well versed in farming sims. Y'all will just get bored of it really quickly. But it certainly seems like a good entry point for anyone completely new to the genre, and just so happens to own a VR headset. If you end up enjoying it, but you find it becomes too repetitive too soon, that might be an indicator that you're ready to step up to something a little more involved. But hey, what do I know about farming sims? This is my very first one. You'll no doubt want to hear from a professional, right? That's why I invited EggKayonnaise, local farming sim expert and all-round good egg, to give the game a go herself. She's played loads of them, some even on her Twitch channel, so she knows what she's talking about.
I'm honestly really pleased with how the tutorial works. A game like this could be really easily clunky and awkward to deal with. It kind of guides you through the tutorial in a way that feels like you're just playing the game, which is really nice. Honestly, the art style has really captured me because it does give me the kind of Harvest Moon vibe over the Story of Seasons and Stardew Valley vibe, which I really like. I think it's simplistic in the sense that it's not giving me a huge world to go and explore immediately and then oh well, have I got to go and befriend all these people to get new stuff. It's kind of giving me the simplicity of everything's here in this one place and this is mine to build. I'm doing it from scratch, but not in a way that feels like this is going to be a huge task. I think as well it would be a really good way to ease people into farming sims as well. If someone picked this up and they'd not played one before, this would probably be really kind of engaging and really comforting. Immediately, I will say yes, I recommend this. But I think even people who are kind of veterans of VR games, but maybe not so much of farming games, would really enjoy it. Just based on the fact that it gives you a comforting experience. This is incredibly comforting. I could relax and play this. You can find me on twitch.tv/EggKayonnaise, where I continue to play a vast array of farming sims and cozy games. So if you like eggs, farming sims, and general messing about, you'll enjoy it.
Across the Valley is an admirable attempt at a simple VR farming sim. It includes many of the elements you would expect from such a game, and I commend the way in which much of it has been implemented. Even as a noob to the genre, I didn't find myself overwhelmed and was able to get up and running in no time at all. And when I was getting into the swing of things, it was fun to play as well. But it won't take long, probably no more than 3 or 4 in-game weeks, before the game will become repetitive and perhaps, some might say, monotonous. It would be at this point where extra features such as larger fields, machinery and more varied livestock would help to extend the lifespan of this game. This isn't for farming sim aficionados, there are far deeper farming games out there. It's really more suited for curious beginners with a VR headset. Certainly, in that regard, Across the Valley is a good entry point for anyone who wants to explore this genre for the very first time. And on that note, I'm gonna head off, so thanks very much for watching. It's not often that I do a review on a game on this channel, so let me know what you thought. Also, have you tried Across the Valley? What did you make of it? Or maybe you're even just a little intrigued? Let us know down below in the comments. And hey, while you're down there, a like is always appreciated if you enjoyed the video, and there's always that subscribe button if you want to hear more from me. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.